Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a couple of weeks, but we are now ready to get back onto the tournament.
Yes, indeed. Back in the commentary desk. Back where we belong for Group B. Already stumbling over my words, as per usual. And we kick off the remainder of what we unfortunately had to slightly delay with the return of Alexa Bliss.
Yes, we have 6 more matches left in round 4 in the B block, and Lex Abyss in our last round got her first win of the tournament.
Most definitely, she's hoping to carry on that momentum. Uh, Honestly, I think she's mainly just relieved to have points on the board. You don't have to worry too much about being under pressure when you have a little bit of foundation to go off of. Their opponent has been a hell of a lot more successful, one would argue.
Has a couple weeks worth of momentum. There's Liv Morgan. More so than anything, though, stopping the momentum of Paige is probably a really big win for her.
Absolutely, that is just stratospheric in amounts of just momentum you have being able to take out the top dog. It really puts you in a confident place. You know that if you tie, you're gonna make it through.
Yes, of course, ties and points are decided by the matches that the ties exist in.
Literally, we start off with collar and elbow. Bliss taking on the power game here.
Yeah, using the leverage. Of course, with our return to the tournament comes the return of Kenny Kenny
Was definitely the cousin of Mikey.
and Marky Mark.
Yes, both of them. I keep telling you, we haven't got Mikey here today, but he does exist. I did verify this.
I believe you.
I think that's the worst part.
Chop blocked. Followed up with a leaping clothesline.
Yeah, she did attempt it earlier, seemed to be dodged by Bliss. Being able to nail it there that time. Follows up with a neck breaker.
Of course, Liv Morgan will be looking to hit that rebound double knees to the face. And Alexa's been employing this fisherman buster as of late.
Yeah, I think she's just been trying to find that new technique. You know what I mean? Oh, got a pinfall coming. As I was saying before, Liv decided to interrupt with a pinfall. Alexa's just trying to find that new technique that's gonna get her the win.
She hit it a few, like she's hit it multiple times, but last round was the first time she actually got the win with it. So I think for her sake, I think she's hoping that she's perfected the move now.
Yeah, she's just ironing out the kinks, so to speak. Now, it's a lot less risky than Twisted Bliss, especially with Logan in the corner.
The kitchen
You
sink.
know, high flying really isn't an option when you have someone in the corner of your opponent, because they can just find a perfect opportunity to knock you off your perch. So I think the Buster was the right move to adopt. You'll see our jawbreaker there by Liv following by just stamping on the knee.
Taking away some of the base from Alexa.
There's definitely Logan staying away, not wanting to get involved, doesn't want to get a disqualification.
Yes, we're yet to see DQ. We're also yet to see ties, which I think are good.
I mean, it's definitely helpful. It does kind of make it
People taking,
oh,
yeah,
decisive. That's what I'm looking for.
yeah. The fact that people are actually getting wings are good makes it decisive. Insult to injury here from Bliss.
Yes, beautiful double knees with the back handspring. Only a 2.
Yeah, I like people have been getting involved. We've had seconds in quite a few matches, but no DQs, and I think that's a good sign overall. No, you hate a tournament match to end in a DQ.
I mean, absolutely, but that's sometimes the nature of the beast. Yeah, I don't see anything good happening here.
What's
I
this plan?
definitely don't. Oh, the
Just
DDT on the apron.
spiking Liv skull first into the apron, the second hardest
Yeah,
part of the ring.
and not just any part of the head, the literal tip of your head, the tip of the skull. That you're just suffering a lot of damage there.
Like so now.
So this might feed into the Fisherman Buster. You know, it is a drop on the head.
Deciding ramming her face into the second hardest part of the ring wasn't good enough and decides to ram her shoulder into the hardest part of the ring.
Again, it's a wear down strategy. Bliss is dissecting her opponent here.
Yeah, using the ring, using the environment to her advantage.
Oh,
They may be looking for it though. Gets the kick to the midsection, goes to the
she's
ropes.
she's going for it. Nails it.
Yeah, gets that double leg face buster. It's not
Only a 2 though.
yeah, it's not enough.
Only a 2 from the former Riot Squad member.
Stumble there from Bliss. Not
Yes, this can get a bit snagged.
and not suffering too ill effects from it, luckily.
Just
Look,
looking to take advantage.
it's the cover.
Only a 1 count though. Liv trying to mount some momentum. Over 2 elbows, following it up with the Bulldog. Goes for a choke.
Yeah, gets a guillotine in. Haven't seen this from Morgan.
This is an uncommon technique. I put
Bliss.
all of the tricks out the back. Unsuccessful though.
Yeah, Bliss putting in those strikes, forcing Liv to break the hold, but looking for a
But
second
again,
time.
this could be it. And it is.
Yeah, second time's the charm for Liv Morgan. Keeps her
Yeah,
momentum going.
most definitely a brutal way to end the match, using those knees to drive your opponent's face down.
That DDT though might have some long-term effects as the tournament goes on.
Yes, but there you see the move that wanted, the Jersey Code Breaker, as I believe she calls it.
I will take your word for it.
I totally didn't have to double check that. I finally did. Finally, this is called the Jersey Code Breaker. She did leave a note on my desk to remind me.
I mean, we haven't called it on any of the other rounds, so
Yeah, I think
probably
she just got a bit infuriated by that.
wanted to make sure it got
Thanks,
called.
Liv. Yeah, thanks. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'll just make sure to keep that on my desk somewhere.
Yes, Liv Morgan keeps her momentum going, gets 2 points.
Uh, a new revamped attire for the man in blue.
I mean, I suppose there's only so much you're gonna want to wrestle in double denim. So
That is true. That did seem very uncomfortable. Kyrie looking to just shape up his attire. Maybe a reflection of a new mentality.
yes, the cool Kyle, as I'm hearing people are referring to it.
That is still a very strange phrase to hear. And but yes, Kyle looking to put a stop to one of our first place competitors in the round, sorry, the group B. I keep confusing group and round. One of those days.
It is indeed one of those days.
It wouldn't be me if there was a to botch. It's fine.
Where's the fun in doing commentary with not without
Yeah.
botching?
Yeah, where's the fun in wrestling if, you know, you don't have to worry about botchamania? It's
We,
fine.
we are professionally unprofessional here.
Yeah, that's our job. I mean, kind of
Certainly,
our job, I
it's certainly your job. I actively plan things to make you corpse. So
guess. I'm very good at corpsing, which does help. But no, to return back to professionals for a minute, Aleister Black has been on one hell of a roll.
yes, the pact of Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre has been proved to be quite effective so far.
Yes, indeed. Aleister, one of the only competitors to be undefeated in the entire tournament, tied with Kevin Owens here in Group B. He's beaten many great opponents. He battled Cesaro in round one. He fought with Chad Gable in round two, coming off from a win against Andrade, his NXT TakeOver opponent, in round three.
Though we do get into the discussion of the only potential downside about teaming up with someone in your opposing block is Drew did lose in the last round. And that could be a knock to
Yeah,
Alistair's momentum as well.
that could be, but I believe both of them meant to be fearsome warriors in a way. That old school medieval mentality of just carrying on fighting. And I think that is what's motivating them. I think that might actually be their advantage, you know? Being able to just put away that bad momentum and use that warrior's instinct.
I think if any team's going to have the capability to rebound well off a loss, it probably is these two.
I would imagine so. Black's a very experienced veteran of the UK independent scene and one hell of a European warrior.
Kyle as well, a very well travelled vet.
Was definitely a practitioner of a mixed style between wrestling and MMA, as I would put it.
Yes, the more shoot style, if we dare call it that, of just stretching your opponent.
Yes, this is one of Alistair's more overlooked factors, his technical knowledge.
Yeah, this is
The-
this is a this, like we've talked about clash of styles, but these are two people with very similar styles. They're both gonna hit you hard, and they're both gonna try and put you in holds and wear you down. Like
Most definitely, I think both overlooked on technicals, but do not underestimate either competitor. Both are skilled in many different areas. As they're showing V-triggered there by Aleister Black, right on the chin of O'Reilly.
Riley sends Aleister Black to the corner, forearm.
There's a very back and forth first few minutes here.
This is again, this is to be expected. These two have very similar styles, and like these two aren't clashing. These two are going to be bouncing back and forth.
Yes, momentum in this match is going to be something key to observe. Simply because it could go into either person's hands at any given time.
Transfers into a pin.
As the powering through, though the damage to the arms is observed there.
Some damaged focus on the shoulders. Snap suplex.
There's the discus elbow.
More back and forth.
Yes, this is what we're talking about momentum.
Arm break
Both
it in.
men could just shift it. Go into the
Yeah.
arm break, as you're saying.
Yeah, arm break it into the Fujiwara armbar. More
That's
damage.
the that's kind of the difficulty with this match, right? Because you never know who's gonna take advantage.
Yeah, and you can see we got some color out there. Aleister busted open on the turnbuckle.
Yeah, I would not try to make Aleister bleed. This is a man who's been in many a hardcore contest. Seen his own blood quite a few number of times.
Yeah, it strikes me as the man who will be fueled by it.
Yes, I believe he'd be seeing red, so to speak.
It's,
Yeah, calm and conserved.
yeah, just
A form of red.
keeping his composure. Aleister knows how to channel anger correctly.
Yes, and by correctly, we mean at his opponent. There's a double stomach stomp. That way to flatten your opponent. What is he going for? V-trigger connects.
Yeah, we've seen him using that big knee quite a bit.
Only a 2 count though. Clipped him right on the jaw.
Yeah, square on the chin.
Beautiful, quick, full DDT there.
And looks to follow this up. Picking
Oh
Kyle
no.
up.
Oh no, we've seen this before. Black Mass!
Black Mass
Good
connects.
night.
Kyle O'Reilly is
It-
out.
It's because of the knee pad, isn't it? So the knee.
and Kevin Owens though, I like as much as we're bringing him up, now kind of has to win.
Oh, most definitely Black. As I said, I predicted that he would be able to keep momentum and not be too worried about McIntyre's loss. The fact proving it this evening, ending the match the same way. Black Mass after in 1, 2, 3. Well, that Tron can only really mean one thing, and no, it's not Victoria, as much as it keeps reminding me of her. It is the return of Amy Dumas, aka Lita.
Yes, we continue with the women's action for our fourth round of the B block. So a lot of mixed points around here in the women's division. In this case, we have someone who's currently sitting at 4 points versus someone who's sitting at 2. So, Lita winning this match will put her up in contention for the top.
Yeah, she'd join the 4-way. She'd make it a 4-way, I should say. But to do that, she's got to beat the Southern Belle, Lacey Evans.
Yes, she is Lacey Evans, and she is wearing a nice hat.
Yes, and the accent is still a little fake, but they're getting there.
And as far as I'm aware, they dropped the whole angle with Ric Flair.
Good.
Without
we don't talk about it.
No, I've only just thought about this. When they literally just dropped that angle.
For good reason.
Like, no, you're right. It's awful, but the fact that they just straight up stopped. They didn't try and give some bullshit reason as to why.
We don't need Lacey Evans to be in the Flair family tree. Okay, we don't need this.
There's also ignoring the fact that they did an entire angle about her being a mother.
Because that would make that. Oh god, I'm trying to figure out how the family tree works now.
Please don't.
That would mean that somehow Lacey Evans and Andrade would be related.
I mean,
to some capacity.
Not exactly.
I know Andrade's not officially in the family, but fiance. Is that the right term? I think it's the right term.
Are they engaged?
I think maybe. I don't know. I'll ask him later. He's in the back. I'll ask him in a little bit. Lacey taking control of the early goings of the match. Showing off the power against Lita.
Yeah, one backbreaker ain't good enough for you. Have a second.
Yeah, it's also the parading as well. A little bit demoralizing, you gotta think, for Lita, who's just trapped in. While Lacey is potentially just playing with her meal, so to speak. Set up Hurricane Rana there by Lita.
Now putting pressure on the shoulders.
Yes, and the bow and arrow.
It's not a bow and arrow, but okay.
It always looks like a bow and arrow.
It does, but no, the bow and arrow is the like back over the knees thing.
Oh, right. This is why I should not do moves.
This is why I'm play-by-play in your history.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, there's apparently 2 different bow and arrow submissions.
Of course there is.
Apparently there's 2. There's the double knees, like you said, but there's one that's also an STF?
That sounds about right.
Wrestling!
Wrestling!
It gets confusing.
Game that has 3 things as a fisherman driver. One of them's a fisherman buster, and the other 2
One's
are
a fisherman suplex and one's a Michinoku
fisherman
driver.
Yeah.
What's a fisherman's Michinoku? Which sounds the least like a buster. But there we see Lacey Evans playing with the food once again.
Yeah, just brushing the boot off Lita's face.
You gotta think that potentially Lacey is underestimating Lita a little bit here.
I think by this point, Lacey just kind of underestimates everyone. She just she just kind of thinks, she just assumes she's better than everyone, and honestly, that might be why she's only at 2 points at this point.
There is an argument to it. Not in terms of wrestling, but there's an argument to be made.
Like it's all well and good being confident, but overconfidence is very much an issue.
I mean, that is true, but I mean, look at Leo Rush in the male side. The guy literally has a finisher called the Man of the Hour.
Yeah, but again, I think that's drawing the line between confidence and overconfidence.
I think we just saw the ladies right.
Yeah, that might have been at least somewhat of a woman's right.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's just a punch.
Yes, it's an illegal move.
It's an illegal move. It doesn't, however, make the knockout punch viable.
Yeah, just reminder, closed fists are illegal in wrestling.
Yes, because they actually cause damage. Which sounds counterintuitive, I understand. But again, wrestling.
And I hear you trying to say, but what if it's not an open... They literally, when Lacey started using it, they started acknowledging that rule, and then, like, after 2 matches, stopped acknowledging that rule.
Which is stupid, because I would have made a fun angle.
Just, yeah, no, I have a knockout punch, but I can't use it because it's illegal.
Oh, 2 masters building up steam. There's a single leg drop kick. We've seen it build up momentum very fast this way. I'm starting to sound like Byron Saxton. Send help.
Inverted twist of fate.
I don't think she's done.
No, it looks like she's going to follow up.
I think she's going to capitalize. Diving guillotine drop misses.
Yeah, Lacey able to get out the way.
Not going for the Lita salt. Probably not in the mood to essentially backflip. Is happy to snap suplex.
Going back up to the top.
He's going to go again. Here we go. Misses it.
Yeah, misjudges the distance. Goes for the cover anyway.
Ooh, I think maybe the shins. I think I'm being generous.
Yeah, I think
very generous there.
I think Lita misjudged the distance on that one.
I fall away powerbomb.
Yeah, countered the Hurricane Rana into the swirly. Crunchy? Crunchy!
Frankie Kazarian is going to send his regards.
Frankie Kazarian? No. Trent.
Both have used it.
The crunchy or the dude buster.
I thought it was called the yoga press at one point. Someone called it that. I was like, what?
I remember calling it that because of a joke from one of the
Yeah.
Smarty things.
So I know some things.
But no, like
Well,
actually, it's like it is Crunchy or the Dude Buster.
there. All I know is that Kazarian used it. That's why I first saw it.
Yeah,
A
it's
DDT.
Dude
No.
Buster being named after a tag team that Trent used to be in.
And while we discuss where Kaylin Croft went, Lita just scored a victory. With the DDT, no less.
Yeah, just
Not a usual tool of Lita's. There's the ladies' right, or the women's right, whichever one you wish to go with.
well, it's supposed to be a play on the concept of women's rights, and
Yeah, but that's just a cheesy name.
most wrestling
Th-
removes a cheesing it. Yeah, like
There's the Lita's ult. Missed it. I think just connected with the feet.
yeah,
I think Shane was definitely
just
generous.
very overcomplicated double kick.
There's the cat's driver.
Yeah, there's the Crunchy.
How do people have different names and still be correct? Again, wrestling.
Yeah, Crunchy, the Dude Buster.
Lita pulling out.
We didn't acknowledge it because it didn't come up, but Lacey Evans did take off the turnbuckle in one of the calls.
Oh yes, yeah, I just didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah, didn't get
Considering
involved.
nothing happened.
So yeah, Lita with the 2 points there.
Yeah, indeed, should be joining in first place with a four-way tie now. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears that we are wrapping up the women's side of Group B, with Paige being the first person down.
Yes,
In this match.
you mentioned it's currently a 4-way at the top for the 6 points. Paige looking to make it a 5-way.
Most definitely, as we've said previously, Kairi Sane, Sasha Banks, Liv Morgan, and Lita all on 6 points, all winning this evening. Paige wants to recover the momentum she lost last week.
Yeah, up was undefeated until last week. She was pipped to the post by Liv Morgan.
Most definitely, Liv was successful in what was, I would consider, the upset of the evening last week.
No,
Well, last Group B, I should say.
last round.
Yeah. Last week in the Group B.
Not even that, because we had the other half of this round.
Yeah. Last half of last week in Group B. There we go. But her opponent also lost last week. The returning to NXT Ember Moon, who was unable to beat Sasha Banks.
Yeah, it's not having the best luck so far. Only getting 2 points. Has Ember.
That's it. I thought you had died for a second. Then Jesus.
Oh, just
But yeah,
yawning.
Ember. That's fair. Well, Ember Moon has been, to many people's opinion, underperforming, so to speak. A lot of fans love Ember Moon, but she just hasn't been able to ride the momentum from round one.
Yes. Although if she does start picking up momentum, she's got some interesting ties in place. She won against Kairi Sane in the first round, but has also
She
lost
did.
against Liv Morgan and Sasha Banks.
You were also in the top, and not only that, if she was to win this match and then still progress to first place later on, she has the advantage over Paige.
I mean, like as much as Ember's not been in the most winning of states, she has been facing a lot of the top runners and does have at least one win over them. So things can still fall in her favor.
Absolutely can do. The real situation would be if by the end of the time we still have a 4 or 5-way tie. Then it will come down to those wins and losses, just to see if there's any overlap.
Yes, I think the more people there are, the harder it is to work out. But I believe it's worked out through who has the most uh, tiebreakers.
Yes, we shall have we shall definitely have to see. There we go. But right now, two of NXT's former greatest women, I guess current as well, if we consider Ember Moon.
Babood current. No, just lost the NXT Women's Tag Championships.
Indeed, she lost him with her tag team partner Shotzi Blackheart against the Gargano Way, which is still a terrible name for a team. But hey, presto,
It's a terrible name for a team, yeah, but it kind of works with the sort of gimmick, like cult gimmick they're going for.
I guess. It's kind of ironic, however, that Candice LeRae, of course, won the tag title from one of our competitors, having previously decided to interfere with the tournament.
Yes, both the Garganos have interfered at least
Yes,
once.
we still don't know why. My guess is just sour grapes.
We haven't seen from any of them since, so I suppose bumping the security team worked. Go figure. When has that ever happened in wrestling?
I know, right? It's almost as if we hired good security guards.
It's almost like if you hire actual security guards instead of low class wrestlers dressed as security guards, you actually get decent security.
Or MJF.
I said low class wrestlers dressed as security guards.
Ooh, don't let MJF tell. don't let MJF know you said that.
I
Jeez,
honestly couldn't care less what NJF thinks of me.
that is understandable. There's a pop-up Hurricane Rana by Ember.
As match so far has been fairly back and forth. Two women relatively equally matched, I think.
Yes, and both instrumental, one could argue, to the women's revolution in different ways. Paige bringing it in with WWE, being one of the first NXT Women's Champions. Also, Ember with her work in areas like Shimmer as the former Athena.
Lots of talent, lots of experience between these two.
Yes, they are talented beyond their years, you can argue.
So very back and forth. This might come down to just who can get a decent lead.
Yes, complete shot on on the crouched Page there.
Yeah, sliding flatliner. Or more of these. All these names are accurate problems.
Mm.
So the cartwheel clothesline in the corner.
Looking to capitalize. Because then there's your one, there's your two. Only a two count.
And this could just now come down to keeping that momentum on her side. Like sunset flip
Sunset
bomb.
bomb. Same intuition, same timing.
Yeah, we do know names of moves, believe it or not.
Yes, fun fact, I sometimes don't fuck up the move name. It does happen. It's a very rare occasion. Like the Eclipse. We see it put people away, not putting Paige away though.
Yeah,
Only a two.
Paige staying in. Paige we know from this tournament so far has plenty of resiliency. She is like been in parts of some of the longest matches in the tournament.
Did all the way slam? That's a technique you don't see Paige bring out often.
Shout out to Joe Hendry.
And a modified cloverleaf.
Yeah, sort of lower angle, more twisting the spine than bending it back.
Yes.
Have a match.
Fan, one of the fans seems to be booing the modified cloverleaf there. directly staring at Paige. Perhaps
Yeah.
I'm a Moon fan. We'll never know.
Death Valley Driver there. Looks like she's gonna try and hit a second, maybe.
It's a pretty amazing finisher. Misses it.
Yeah,
Still connects with body weight though. Ooh.
damage is done,
Oh,
but
that did not look pretty.
unfortunately, damage is done to both women when things go wrong like that.
But it is enough.
Yeah, it's enough, and continues to make some shakes. Like, say what you want, she might not win, but Ember very much could be one of those people that, even if she doesn't win, has such an important role to play on how the tournament ends out.
Definitely. And not only that, these two women are now tying in points.
Yes.
Over 4.
So again, as we said, if Ember does keep momentum going, and if Paige picks momentum back up, and they're tied at the end, Ember wins.
Definitely. The former front runner now losing twice in a row.
Yeah, not
What?
a good not a good time for Paige.
Definitely not. Paige needs to figure out a solution. Losing to Ember Moon and Liv Morgan back to back. Some would argue Paige should have won these matches.
Yeah, people would have, like, if you're on paper, like, okay, maybe Ember Moon you expect to win, but Liv Morgan,
Yeah, Liv seemed like she'd be stomped in their matchup, but apparently not. Either way, congratulations to Ember Moon joining second place. Well, the moment has come
yeah, so
to see the. Also, good.
we start getting some interesting point standings here. Cesaro on a two round win streak, not winning in the first round, versus opponent who has yet to lose, and is in kind of a tricky position now that Aleister has won his match in this round.
Yes, this match has a lot of history. This matchup is something that happened first in 2006, would you believe?
Two men well versed with one another.
Very. 15 years well versed. And one of them, I think, highly motivated to win.
Yeah, again, as we said, wants to stay on the top, and currently to do that, he has to win because Aleister won his match early in the night. And it's worth mentioning Aleister, my pick, Kevin Owens, one of your picks.
Most definitely. These men have battled in many, many companies. They've battled in Ring of Honor, in IWA, in PWG, and WWE. But tonight, Cesaro is the obstacle that could prevent Kevin Owens from being first place, from staying undefeated.
Yeah, Cesaro wins here. He will join Owens and Rush at 6.
But if Owens wins, he'll join Aleister at 8.
So this is where we start getting into some of the real big stakes pointless wise.
Yes. To a certain generation of Ring of Honor fan, this is the holy grail of matchups, you could argue. One of the best mic workers and brawlers in the world, and one of the strongest men to grace the ring against each other.
Early pinfall, more to just force your opponent to work than it is to expect to win.
As I said, these two men had their first singles contest in 2006, where Cesaro, under the name Claudio Castagnoli, greatest name ever designed, beat Owens. It was a hell of a contest. And you gotta think Owens is motivated to win this matchup. to avenge that loss.
I mean, I think as far as I think we can expect this to be a hell of a contest as well.
Most definitely, these are the students of Cassius Ono. To some degree, be it as opponents or be it as actual students. And if there's anything you should know about the students of one Cassius Ono, they are very well versed.
These are, two of the best to do it. Certainly two of the best of this generation.
Most definitely, these men have carved a reputation that transcends the roles of face and heel when you think about it. Both have
Yeah,
been cheered and booed.
yeah. Regardless of where they are, the fans will always have some respect and some admiration for them.
Beautiful. Cesaro just kicked up from that?
Yeah,
From the torture at Neckbreaker. Holy hell.
Cesaro not caring for your inverted TKO.
It's, this is what I was talking about. Cesaro is a hell of an athlete, and some would argue superhuman.
Yes, people have called him a cyborg.
And for good reason. This is the man who rotated the Great Khali and kept him off of the mat for, what was it, 7 seconds, I believe?
I don't remember. I honestly know
Been a
very
while.
I know very little about the Great Khali, and that is a disappointment.
I will teach you, don't worry. Pitbull fights Cesaro.
We do have the world's #1 expert on the Great Khali here, of course.
Yes, it was a traumatic moment seeing Cesaro swing the Great Khali. It was one that hurt me very dearly. Mainly as I wondered how Cesaro's arms managed to not dislocate from the fact that he's spinning a 500-pound man off of the mat. Very European uppercut there.
Yes, very European indeed.
I think Cesaro's trying to put it away. I think he was going for the neutralizer, missed the opportunity.
Yeah, telegraphed it a bit too much, I think. Owens managing to wrestle out.
These are very well-versed opponents. You kind of have to pull your moves out of nowhere, so to speak. Not telegraph them as much.
Yeah, like both these men, as much as they have the hard strikes, they have the flashy moves. Both of them can 100% bring it back down to basics when necessary, and we saw that from Owens just there, just literally
Yeah.
wrestling down, stopping any ability from Cesaro.
Both of these men can punch. Both of these men can kick with the best of them. They can grapple. They can be technical. They can bring out weaponry when needs be. They are, in many ways, the perfect comparison of one another in terms of technique.
Yeah, both well versed all rounders, and that's what makes this such a hard match to call.
Yeah, this is the one contest this tournament I don't think we can predict. No, say what you want about Paige losing to Liv Morgan, we still could predict an outcome, right?
Like
Even if it was wrong.
like it, yeah, we were wrong about the outcome. That was an upset, but we had a prediction for it to be an upset. Neither of
Yeah,
these people winning is an upset.
yeah. This is just a first contest. European, a very European uppercut,
It's the second one of those. Owens has eaten.
and they hurt. Cesaro's arms are very, very strong.
Yeah, it snaps the neck back.
Yeah, it cuts off the oxygen to some degree.
Yeah, a bit of a winding
Yeah,
effect.
especially on landing. The technique that's put,
Yeah, what are
maybe
the?
put away. I think it's going to be a rope.
Yeah, too close to the ropes.
Owens realized it and reached for the ropes. That was clever.
That could have been it. It was a very close fall afterwards.
Yeah, it could
We
have
have
been like just fatigue,
like
but
we have seen how much of a like death nail the a lot of
wait a
submissions
minute.
like that have been this
Wait a minute.
contest.
Wait a minute.
Push him
We've
off the
seen this before.
pop-up
Pop-up power
powerbomb.
bomb. One of Owens' trusted techniques.
Not enough to keep Cesaro down.
That is a textbook definition of literally a hair away from loss.
Yeah, 2 9/10.
I'd argue 2 and 99 100ths. Jesus. What about Michinoku K-pop by Cesaro yet again? Cesaro just finding ways to gain momentum and recover it out of nowhere.
Just being able to tank these moves. Just
Going for a pin again. Still only a 2 count. The resilience of Owens.
it's one of the aspects of wrestling that people don't talk about enough is, yeah, there's plenty of how your abilities to hit things and your
Andrade.
ability to take damage, but it's your ability to fight through damage that is really like sets the men amongst the boys.
Yeah. It is why Owens is the prize fighter. It's all well and good being able to fight, but it's also the resilience of it.
Again, both men have that aspect in spades. Like,
Yeah, this could go down to the last minute. It would not surprise me.
yeah, we've mentioned yet to have a draw of any sort. And
Cesaro, T-Bone Exploder.
to the bridge, another very near fall.
Cesaro is bringing out some of his trademark strength. There's the strength for Cesaro. Gut red suplex, not enough. Has to go for the repeat. Still not enough.
Wants the trifecta.
There's your repeat. Again, trying to win.
Yeah, we have seen people win off that.
And Cesaro does it. Cesaro topples the former leader of the pact. I'm not saying that's significant, but holy hell is it a person you want to beat.
Yeah, quite a big win there. Keeps
Cesaro
Aleister Black the only person on this block at the top, and Daniel Bryan the only person at the top of the other block. Both block have one undefeated man.
Cesaro just using the momentum of the last 2 weeks and his knowledge of Owens to win here in phenomenal style.
Yeah, just wearing him down, suplex on suplex, uppercut on uppercut.
It's,
eventually enough to keep Owens down.
Just Owens put up a hell of a fight. It's got to be said. Owens tanked a lot of what Cesaro could dish, but they call him the Swiss cyborg for a reason.
This man is mildly inhuman. This man is now unseated one of the Forerunners and is now tying with him and Rush.
Definitely. I cannot wait to see him battle Rush now that you mention it.
Where is that in these standings? That's quite a way off, actually.
Yeah, I've got a feeling
that match is in the last round, so we've got a while to wait for that. But that's going to be a fantastic match,
and it'll be pretty important. One has to think if Cesaro and Lio Rush can continue their momentums and stay second or first place, it could really matter.
Yeah, there's a lot to play for as we continue. But congratulations to Cesaro, unseating Kevin Owens. Ladies and gentlemen, your main event of the evening is a sort of the opposite scale as far as end of the scale as far as point significance goes.
Yeah, and I'm pretty certain it's 2 of the people I asked to join the tournament, isn't it?
Yes. What honestly, it might especially in Andrade's case, 2 of your best picks, both sitting currently at 0 points.
I'm glad you said best picks, because on paper, I agree. I mean, what can we say about Andrade that's not been said? One of the surprisingly best NXT champions. I believe my video has frozen. That's There we go. As I'm saying, one of the surprisingly best NXT champions. A former IWGP, I believe, Intercontinental Champion? I could be wrong on that one.
But let's, in all fairness, go through like who these people have lost to, because
Alright.
Andrade has lost to Lio Rush, Cesaro, and Aleister Black. Andrade has lost to 3 of the Forerunners.
Yeah, that is kind of an unfortunate situation for Andrade when you think about it.
Bobby Roode losing to Rusev, Lio Rush, and
What is it?
Cesaro.
What is it with Lio Rush
And
and
Cesaro.
Cesaro? Jesus.
Yeah, Lio Rush and Cesaro, as we were saying, like they don't meet until the final round, and that match could have some major implications by the time we get there.
Yeah, and this match is kind of showing that.
Like,
No, it's a case of Cesaro and Leo have to keep that momentum outright,
it's like,
unless one of these two men can get enough momentum to take first place and sole first place.
or at least
Which
not
is,
tied with either Lio Rush or Cesaro.
yeah, if they're tied with them, they'd be automatically out. Or at least you'd have to think so, right?
Yes, with the way ties are settled. Bobby Roode just, again, fantastic talent, just like Andrade, but just facing all the frontrunners and Rusev.
Yes. Yes, an underrated talent. May I remind you, longest reigning Impact World Champion in history. May I also remind you that Roode is carrying the momentum in this match. These two have faced off. NXT Brooklyn 2, where Roode was able to beat Andrade. So you gotta think Roode's in the driving seat, so to speak, here.
I think Roode would certainly have the. Yeah, like for all intents and purposes, you'd think Roode has the advantage. Although there's always that argument to be made of fighting someone you've lost to before gives you more, like, more of a fire under you than usual.
Yeah, but remember, last time we said that it was Lio Rush, Kevin Owens, and we know how that went.
Yes, currently Lio
Rush had
Rush's only
lost
loss.
to Owens, who has always been a thorn in Leo's side, at least historically speaking.
And this is why we say that Lio Rush Cesaro match could be like as important as it might be, because like Owens beat Rush, Cesaro beat Owens. If those 3 are like tied getting towards that end, and Leo, Leo beats Cesaro, that's going to be really hard to call.
Yeah, that will be very much a crunching of the numbers. Yes, these two last faced off, as I mentioned, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Roode was victorious. I think both men in the same outfits, actually, as that matchup. I could be wrong on that.
They're very similar, but
Very, very similar.
Andrade keeps it fairly simple and clean. I don't think he changes it too much.
Yeah, it's mainly just the coloration that changes for him. But when you have a working formula, why change it?
Something NXT Kushida.
Good times.
They've given him trunks. They had 1 week where he wrestled barefoot.
Oh god.
Yep. And then they went, "That's stupid. We should just give him shooter boots. That makes much more sense."
Ah yes. Andrade when he was face. I forgot Andrade was face that time. But Andrade has found a lot of momentum being the bad guy. It was under that shift that he became United States Champion, NXT Champion, Raw Tag Team Champion.
Yeah,
The list goes on.
we've mentioned the factor of the woman in the corner. Hey, look, it's one of those fisherman drivers.
Yeah, it's Fishman Driver. I believe it's number 2.
It was either 1 or 2,
As
because 3 was the one that was the fisherman buster.
yeah, that's behind the scenes for you. But both of these men are extremely talented individuals. There can be no denying of that. But what I also find funny, if I may just say, is the fact that these two men and their NXT Championship career are kind of entwined with Group A's Drew McIntyre. It was McIntyre that beat Roode, but Andrade that beat McIntyre. And there's something poetic about that, you know what I mean?
And again, that almost says something to just the unfortunate position they've had so far in the tournament.
Absolutely when compared to McIntyre. Absolutely. These are people that can stand up to future WWE champions and are world champions in their own right in different companies, but just not being able to get enough momentum to win.
Oh, we put like the stakes of wanting to win this match for all the obvious reasons, but this is the 4th round.
Yeah, it gets really tough to build enough to win if you don't win now.
Like 12 points is the standard for winning a block in these tournaments, which is winning 6 matches.
Yeah.
So
this would have to be the first of that streak. And we're not ruling it out. These are the two men that could do it.
It has been done. Like it has been done where people have lost their first few matches and gone on hot streaks. Like,
yeah. And
not always effective. Like sometimes they get on the hot streak too late, but the people in the back will be watching that. Like,
yeah, it has been done so much by worse contenders. That's the thing. These are still two hell of competitors. They have a high chance of doing it.
Yeah, like again, Andrade has already faced 3 of the top runners. Like, if Andrade gets the advantage now, he could have all the, effectively all his easier fights ahead of him.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, though, he is fighting the longest reigning world champion in Impact history. The champion of 256 days.
So yeah,
in reference of talent, though, let me just remind you who that is longer than. That is longer than AJ Styles. That is longer than
can fall off the double knees.
Did more than Samoa Joe, more than Sting, more than John Morrison, more than Kurt Angle, more than Lashley and Brian Cage and Austin Aries and Jeff Hardy.
So both of these men are your picks. Like, who would you
These
rather put your money behind?
Well, I'm gonna say the Hammerlock DDT hurts like a motherfucker.
And Roode busted open off of it.
The question.
I think that might be it.
I think if I put on Andrade.
Because I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Because you like your choice has been made for you.
Yeah, I was about to say Andrade. Well, I was about to say Roode, if I'm being honest. Then I noticed the Hammerlock, like, oh no, history could repeat itself somehow. The Hammerlock is a dangerous DDT. It's not your average one. You literally have no protection. Your face will hit that mat. And that hurts.
As we see in this case, it busts Roode open. But I have some news.
Oh god.
Andrade's next round opponent
Oh no.
is Kevin Owens.
For God's sake!
So, as much as I was saying
Momentum.
he's got most of his difficult ones out the way, he has one
This
more.
one. You can't get a rest.
You gotta
I feel
think,
sorry for Andrade, my dude.
but I will say, you gotta think if he does get past Owens, he might be in a very good position to run the
Oh,
rest.
if he gets past Owens, holy hell, that is a victory that he needs.
That could be the thing that sways the tournament in a very big way.
Yeah, and again, he is. Andrade has literally just beaten one of the longest reigning Impact World Champions in history. Let's not take that away from Robert Roode. Let's not take that away from him. But that is one hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a well fought contest. Well fought contests all round, I think, this evening. And a
Absolutely.
lot of big shifts in the points department. We of course move on back to Route Group A next week. With a
Indeed.
lot of interesting matches going around.
Yeah, it's definitely a hell of a lot of interesting contests. McIntyre will want to regain that momentum, I feel, against Shelton Benjamin. But it also happens to be one match I'm particularly looking forward to. Well, two, three, four. Okay, quite a lot. Not gonna lie.
It's one of those weeks rounds of the tournament where the matches aren't so much about how good the points are standing, it's just how good the matches are.
Yeah, I mean, just Finn Balor versus Daniel Bryan, Samoa
Samoa
Joe
Joe,
versus Ricochet,
Shawn Michaels, and
Nakamura
Sami
versus
Zayn.
Kenta.
Like the men's
All of the male
matches have
side.
great lineups, and as far as points go, Dakota Kai looking to bring the momentum back up after losing to Beth Phoenix against Bianca Belair, and Beth trying to
Yeah.
hold that momentum against Selena.
Yeah, not only that, but Baszler wanting to regain top position and potentially beat Billy Kay, who has been on a wave of momentum with a 2-match win streak.
And and we do have Oscar looking to stay off the bottom. Speaking of and Bianca Belair's down there as well. A lot of points moving, to happen in the women's division. A lot of great matchups to look forward into the men's division. That is all next week. We thank you for watching this week, and we will see you next week. Ta-ra.
Take care.